Boom, good morning, Coach Michael Burt. How we doing this morning, guys? I am up, spend time with the kids. About to head to Nashville, Tennessee to check on our Greatness Factory. I want to say a big shout out to some of our new tenants. Dr. Lee Howard, Dan Schindler out of Texas, Tabitha King. Wow. We're starting to fill that thing up, folks. And while we're filling it up, Tom Alexander is for one reason, man. We got a good attitude. When you really think about attitude, I want you to think about attitude. What's that, Albert? I want you to think about attitude, Freddie Blanton, as a posture of the body. I was talking to somebody just the other day, and I said, man, when you got sales problems, you really only got one or two problems. Like you could say we got 100 problems. We ain't got 100 problems. We have one of two problems, Freddie Blanton. We have an attitudinal problem. Let me turn around where the waterfall's hitting. There we go. We got an attitudinal problem, which is our attitude and our approach, Travis Welch, toward opportunity. Okay? We don't want to call. We don't want to call fast enough. We don't want to pick up the phone. We don't like people. So when we're not hitting our sales goals, Amber Walsh, one problem a lot of people have is they have an attitudinal problem. Okay? That is a posture of the body. And I like to use an example of in my jet, there is an attitude indicator. And sometimes I'll go from the back of the plane up to the front, and I'll ask the pilots what's going on, show me the attitude indicator. Attitude indicator tells you if a plane is ascending, plateaued, or coming down, landing, okay? So I say, how's the attitude, right? How's a person's attitude? Attitude, what's problem number one? Attitude, Philip Richards, posture of the body, represented by physical state. Bad attitudes make for hard lives. So when people are not hitting their sales goals, one, they got a bad attitude toward the process of selling, which is really just helping people go from A to B. I've got more clients telling me today that they're using my A to B book with their clients, and it's closing deals for them. Jason Robinson. People are using A to B, my new book, to get clear on where a person's trying to go, and then making a sales easy. It's like, would you like my help with this? Right? Or they have a skill problem. If I got a good attitude, but I'm not selling, I have a skill problem. I don't know how to get a person on the phone. I don't know how to connect. I don't know how to locate an ambition. I don't know how to invite an action. I don't know how to explain the value. I don't know how to go for the close. So I've got one of two problems, Ryan Hall, when I'm not hitting my numbers. I got an attitudinal problem. It's like, man, I just don't want to do this. Guess what? Nobody wants to do it. Nobody wants to pick up the phone and follow up 7 to 15 times with people. Not even me. But there's something I want, and I want to hit my numbers. I was talking to somebody yesterday, and they said, look, I didn't want to hit my numbers for any other reason, not just the money, but it was just the personal. Oh, yeah, I was talking to a banker that I'm working with next week. He said, man, I wanted to be number one. That was really my goal. It wasn't because I made a lot more money, Michael Kennedy. It was because the personal pride of just being the best. Daniel Hodges, right? Emmanuel, good morning. So there's two things I look at in people. Number one, I look at the posture of their body. Do they show up? Are they hungry? Are they humble? Are they teachable? Do they have a good attitude? And if so, I keep pouring into them. But if I detect they have a bad attitude, which is a posture of the body, I go, man, I ain't got time for that. Because you can't control that part. Now, once we got the attitude in place, Christy Nations, we then go to work on the skill. And I break it down in my coaching programs. How do you initiate? How do you connect? How do you locate their ambition? How do you explain the value? How do you invite them to take an action? How do you qualify their commitment? See, now we're getting into skill versus attitude, okay? So, we've all had bad attitudes, guys. John Spurgeon, good morning. We've all had bad attitudes. There's been times in my life I've had bad attitudes toward things. And I've never really prospered when I had a bad attitude. So the attitude is a posture of the body represented by physical state. Alan Mitchell. And I can tell you, if I went to Alan Mitchell's office and I sat at the front door and I watched how people walked in the door, I could tell who's got a bad attitude and who's got a good attitude. Who's ready to go to work and who's ready to go to the excuse department. And by the way, we close the excuse department down in my company, which is what everybody should do, right? So I hope you have a great day. Bad attitudes make for hard lives. Good attitudes make for good lives, okay? Go out there and have an attitude indicator. Boom. That's ascending. I'm headed to Nashville to check on my Greatness Factory. Have a great day.